Hello. Today I'd like to talk about the topic of perceived maturity, as it is by those who are in your life, and how asexuality plays into that. So, I personally think that after you reach a certain age, there should be a point where no one is allowed to pat you on the head unless they have your expressly stated permission to do so. Why? This is because, as some of you may know, I'm 24 years old. I'm not, I'm not, super old or anything. 80. Well, I don't know if that counts as super old. But I'm not a kid. And what tends to happen whenever I talk about anything regarding sex or my attitudes about sex, even if I don't explicitly come out as asexual, I tend to get things where people treat me like a kid, like patting on the head. And that's not really comfortable. For one thing, being pat on the head, in addition to just being kind of patronizing and insulting, it's also very, very disorienting because the top of your head is an area of where you feel vulnerable because you don't usually think about that part of your body. And when someone touches it, like that, you're like, oh fuck, I have a top to my head. Or some other knee-jerk reaction that involves realizing that anything could fall on top of you at any given moment. So, yeah, and I do have some people in my life who have treated me like that. It didn't bother me at first. I thought they were just being, a little patronizing, and then it happened constantly, and it was very bothersome because it kept on being a trend. It's like, is there something about patting people on the head if they confess that they're not that interested in sexual activity? It just doesn't seem appropriate. And as far as maturity goes, I do believe that some people perceive me to be immature. I've been likened to having the mindset of a child. I've been told that I'm a late bloomer, etc., and all these other things, just because of a disinterest in sex, and I find that strange. No one would call me a coward if I said I'm not interested in skydiving, or maybe some people might, but generally people don't say you're a coward if you say I have a legitimate dislike of jumping from high places with only a parachute as my savior and, having the ground rushing up towards me. No one says, oh, you're just a coward. But if you say, oh, I'm not interested in sex, suddenly you're a child. Nah, that doesn't... I mean, maybe that's not the best parallel, but it definitely is very strange to me, because there are so many other things that, you can be considered immature for. I know several things that I can say, oh yeah, I'm not the most mature person ever, but, I still live with my parents, and I haven't been able to get a job, and I don't have my driver's license yet, which I am working on. But when people single me out, a lot of these things people don't know, and they single me out as being like a kid because of the sex aspect, and that annoys me, because there are other reasons why I'm immature, where I can be considered immature, and that is not one of them, especially because, my attitudes toward sex have been acculturated through serious thought, very serious thought, and time, and, just thinking about what I want in my life. So, yeah, it can be frustrating. So, expect that some people will probably regard you as immature if you continue to, say sex is not for you. Or they might do the other thing and say, wow, you're so wonderful to wait till marriage or something like that, which makes you go, because you know, you might not be doing that whole thing. I don't know. Or anything. So, sorry my camera has been wiggly tonight, but I'm sure some of you, I don't know. Anyway, and there we go. See you next week.